Hello all and welcome. And I am the Realist Philosopher. And in this video, I would like to talk about the subject of free markets, capitalism, how they work, and specifically, I would like to address the subject of bounty and plentifulness and the idea of waste in a capitalist society. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I was browsing through my Facebook page, right? And I saw a video somebody had posted on one of the groups I belong to. I guess it was Bleeding Heart Liberal, I suppose, who thought this was a quaint story. And they made some comments talking about how the person in it was a hero of some kind, right? And the subject of the video was there was some kid working in a supermarket. I don't remember what country. Who knows? Probably one of these liberal Nordic countries. Who knows? But anyway, the kid worked in a supermarket, and he was bemoaning the fact that the place that he worked had these warehouses full of food, right? They had these warehouses full of food that was post-dated. Oh, no. Oh, yes. They were full of post-dated food, and he said it was just so wasteful. There's so many people out there who could eat this food, but they have no food, and they're going to go hungry because they don't have the opportunity to get this free food that's just sitting here and going to waste. Yeah, it's waste, right? It's a pejorative term, of course, and he's portraying it as some kind of negative. Oh, look, we have this waste. It could go to poor people, but it's not going to poor people. It's just rotting, right? Well, let me tell you something. That food rotting in that warehouse is a good thing. And let me tell you why, okay? Now, first of all, what you have to understand about a capitalist society is that it functions off of supply and demand, okay? If people want something, somebody's going to supply it. If people don't want it, guess what? It's not going to get supplied because there's no money to be made, right? So farmers make food because people want food, right? And supermarkets sell food because people need food. And farmers employ people, right? And supermarkets employ people, right? So people get a lot of jobs from supermarkets, and at the same time, people get something that they need very much, which is food, right? So this creates a lot of incentive for farmers to create and for supermarkets to sell and for both to have the requisite number of employees to fulfill that function. And the higher demand, the more employees they'll have and the more food they will produce. Now, you and me think, oh, more food, good. Less food, bad. Unless you're Bernie Sanders, of course. Oh, I think breadline's a good thing. Breadlines are good. Yeah, people standing in line for 8 hours to get a loaf of bread, and then when they get to the head of the line, oh, we're out of bread. Sorry. Yeah, there was no profit to be made in making the bread, so people stopped making the bread. And of course, the price of the bread and the price of the resources to make the bread got too high, so there was no incentive to make the bread. But that's a good thing. Yeah, okay, Bernie. So, oh, that Bernie, oh boy. So, yeah, that waste in that warehouse sitting there is actually a good thing. It's not waste, okay? It's plentifulness. It's bounty. It's a sign that we have advanced to a point technologically and innovation-wise that we can produce more food than we need. How exactly is that a bad thing, right? That's like saying, oh, we have more housing than we have people that need housing. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, my God. We have more houses than people. And we've got lots of houses sitting vacant. They're not being used. Meanwhile, we have people on the street who are homeless. Oh, my God. We got millions of homeless people in America. Well, we need to give them housing. We just need to confiscate the houses, right? This guy, he's got 4 houses. He's got 4 freaking houses, and he's only living in one of those houses. That's wasteful. That's a travesty. We need to take and confiscate his houses and give them to the poor so they can have somewhere to live. Is this starting to sound familiar? Is this starting to sound a little like socialism? It's the same thing. It doesn't matter that the food is sitting there and rotting. In fact, it's a good thing. You know why it's a good thing? Because if that food was given away, okay, it would reduce the demand for food and less food would get made. I think less food being made is a bad thing. But apparently, it's wasteful and evil, and it's a travesty, right? Yeah, the farmer, he's not going to put as many resources in. He's not going to put as much time and effort in if he's not going to get essentially as much money, if he's not going to sell as much. So he's going to produce less wealth. He's going to produce less food. And then the supermarket is going to produce less, and then they're going to hire less people because they don't have as many customers, so they don't need as many people. And of course, if they had more people, they would lose money because they're not selling as much as they used to, because, somebody thought it was a good idea to start giving away free food. And of course, nothing's free, right? Yeah. Now that this food is excess, that they weren't able to sell it, it is a loss, right? Sure, right. That's life, right? Sometimes when you produce more and you have more of a product that has a sell-by date, you're going to have a loss. But what you don't do is compound that loss by then giving it away and assuring that those people it's being given to, who are getting the food for quote-unquote free, will buy less food, and therefore you're losing more money on top of what you lost on the food that's gone post-date. It makes no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense. Oh, but of course, this kid who sees these poor people, right? And why are they poor, right? That's another video, of course. But he sees these people, he thinks he's helping, right? Right. You're helping someone. You're not helping everyone. In fact, you're hurting far more people than you're helping when you give food away for free, because you're going to drive up the cost of what food there is, okay, because not as much is being made, and when there's less of something, it costs more. So you're going to drive up costs. You're going to reduce the amount of employment in the agricultural industry because there's not as much demand. So we don't need as much labor, because we don't need to produce as much, because people are buying less, because some dimwit thought it would be a good idea to give away post-dated food. So there's that, right? And you would think the socialists would have a problem with losing tax revenue, because if you have less employees and you have less profits being made by a producer, and he's hiring less people, and the supermarket's hiring less people, and they're all making less profit, and thereby less taxes, you would think that the leftists would have a problem with that. Oh, no problem at all with that. And of course, less food's getting made. So this boy, who everybody was lauding, everybody was typing in their little Facebook comments thing, oh, he's so wonderful, oh, he's such a hero, oh, his charitable donations are helping so many people. They're idiots. They don't understand how free markets work. He's doing far more harm than good, and the more people that adopt his out-of-control pathological altruism, the more harm it's going to do to the free market and to everyone at large. Anyhow, I just wanted to vent about that, and hopefully get through to some lefties who might watch this video and be awakened and enlightened by this information. Waste, when it comes to productivity, doesn't exist, okay? Doesn't exist. It's a sign of a productive, successful society. And while you might feel tempted to give away that plenty that you see as waste, you'll only do more harm in the future and reduce the availability of that which you are giving away to the point where everyone suffers, just so you could help a few people and make yourself feel better. And you only help those people in the very, very, very short term. In the long term, you've enabled them and made them far less likely to try and take care of themselves. But that's another video for another time. I'm the Realist Philosopher, and I wish you a good day. Take care.